Wahoo! Yo, with unknown intent here, also known as JRA322. I don't often make videos about this shit, and honestly, I wanted to make a like 2000 sub special or something, but this has been at the back of my mind for a very long time, ever since I started making the melts even, and so I would just like to get this off my chest, and I would very much appreciate if you hear me out. Honestly, I don't have any right at all to speak on any of these topics as far as I'm concerned. I'm way too inexperienced at this game in particular to be having any sort of credible insight on bussing or RMTing or anything like that. However, whenever I see streamers reacting to the melt or chatters reacting to the melt or even comments on melts themselves where people are just like pointing out the problem with the game or whatever, I'm unintentionally dragged into this conversation, and it's not something that I should really care too much about, but I do. In truth, I just want people to enjoy the melt. Whenever I see someone like Stoops or John Pal reacting to it and their chat being the way they are, they're sending messages like only bussers featured or this guy did that or she did that or whatever. It kind of makes me sad because it takes away from the focus of the video, because honestly this is all for the sake of entertainment. Like, I just want to provide a funny haha moment for the content creator themselves because they are providing me with so much entertainment on a daily basis. And I can tell that streamers are like looking at their chat and they're unsure how to react, right? I don't want ever anyone to have in the back of their mind, how should I react to this? Should I laugh? Or if I'm laughing at this clip, am I participating in promoting the problem? Guys, I am not some AI bot that is downloading the top 10 clips from the Lost Ark Twitch category and just pasting it into a video. If I did that, the melts would be 10 minutes long. And who would want that? I'm kidding. But I am truly just an actual retard that legit, and I kid you not, I just watch these streamers on a regular basis. If I'm able to, if I'm awake to watch them, I would be watching them. All of the clips in the videos I look at beforehand. I try to see if I can fit it into a video. All of the editing work, all of the effort that I put in is 100% just a for fun thing for me to make a for fun thing for you to watch and enjoy. And showcasing streamers that I actually spend hours watching because they are entertaining to watch is 100% on my conscience. It's 100% my choice. And if they are bussers or not, it's not really something that I've ever looked way too deeply into, because I watch them because I enjoy watching their stream. I think most streamers that are featured can actually vouch for me being a stupid idiot in their chat most of the time. And most people that haven't seen me in their chat is most likely because, honestly, it's probably clips that you guys are sending in. And I'm always kept mentioning it. I'm really, really appreciative and grateful of anyone who sends in clips of their favorite streamer to feature in the melt. I think I have not once ever not featured a clip in the melt that has been sent in by someone. Most of the clips that you guys send in have 100% chance of making it into the melt, and sometimes the entire video is made around it being like the main event of the video. That said, I'm just going to briefly give my thoughts on all of these topics, and this section is probably going to sound a lot like ranting and probably me just embarrassing myself with the thought process I have, because I am an idiot and that's just me. First things first, I have to get it out of the way that I am a new player. I started in March last year, and this is what my main roster looks like. I may have 3 1640s on EUC at the moment, but you can ask anyone on EUC that I play with, if I ever play with them, and they will tell you that I do not play that region like seriously at all, even if I live in Sweden. Unless like Fancy is live and I just join her raid to int it for a funny clip, you know, that I totally do on with intent and not because I'm actually a fucking newbie. My roster makes maybe 100 to 150k on any East a week. Yes, that little. My account has nothing. I don't even have lost 12. Like, that's just how casual I am at the game. I just cleared my second week of Aegir normal. I cleared my first gate 4 at the start of January. I started in March, and during these past 10 months, I was most likely not playing for up to 6 months because maybe PoE launch, or maybe Torchlight Infinite launch, or maybe there was some other game launch, or maybe I was just bored, of Lost Ark at the time. When it comes to like when it comes to featuring bussers, non-bussers, etc., bussing is kind of a tough nut to crack, I think. It has existed in almost every game forever, and in my opinion, it is most likely a game state problem, and players are just taking advantage of it. Whether or not they are bussing in alt roster or in worst case scenario, gold sellers, there's just no way to make sure that they are. Sure, if you have a lot of experience in the game, I believe that you can probably tell what's an alt roster or not, but at the end of the day, you can never really be sure. Take me, for example. When I first started playing the game and all I was doing was Brel and getting to a con, I was in a position, like many other new players are, where I need to look for a con learning. And it took a long time to be able to find a con learning. The whole reason I have an NA East roster at all is because the first learning group that I was actually able to find through Discords, for example, the first Akon learning party that I was actually able to find was on NA East, and that's the whole reason I have an NA East roster to begin with. Many new players are in this position, or used to be in this position, not so much at this point in the game because of solar raids. And back then, you would falter to the pressure of, FOMO. I can't progress my character unless I do the next raid tier. And they would just buy a bus in a con, for example, so that they could upgrade their Brel gear to a con gear, etc. Otherwise, they would be like infinitely stuck at this point in the game, and all they wanted to do was just progress and just move forward. So it makes sense that people then start buying buses. I think solar raids have fixed this issue for a lot of new players, and I do not see any reason why anyone after the implementation of solar raids would ever buy a bus as a new player over actually playing the game in a solar raid. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Bussing in particular and how AGS handles it is up to them. I think bussers and bussing is just a game state issue for the most part, and players are just taking advantage of the system that is in place. And when it comes to meter, do I agree with having meter on screen and on stream, and do I actively work and edit out the meter from the melt because I care? I do. And I don't think I have to tell anyone, just hide it. Like, what's the point in risking your account? I wouldn't want, in my case, for example, if I'm streaming my game, if I'm streaming my Hell Clown, if I'm streaming my Reclears or whatever, I would never have meter on screen, because, like, even if I've just spent 1,000 hours in Lost Ark, I would never want to risk my account over something like that. And I am also in no position to go brigade people over it at all. I'm not in a position to go into anyone's stream and be like, yo, you shouldn't show meter, it hurts the community. Because in my opinion, I think meter is really good for the player at all. Being able to gather information like that is really good. And it may be because I've been like traumatized. I don't think that's the right word, from playing WoW for so long, but having that information is helpful for like a new player. As far as I'm concerned, meter helps the player, and there's very few exceptions where I would actually consider meter cheating. That would be, for example, showing Hell Mode HP or Guardian HP or Gate 4 HP, where it's supposed to be hidden. By showing your meter and actively risking your account, you're checking the dev for them to do something about it. I wouldn't do it, and I wish people wouldn't do it, because like it would suck. Like, I think if I think that losing my 1,000 hour account would suck. Like imagine losing 10,000 hours. At that point, you might just be so destructive that you are looking for an out, you know? If you get permanently banned from Meter, I don't think you will, but you know, you kind of get the point that I'm trying to get across. I can't really see I can't really talk too much about Meter, like how good or bad it is, because I honestly think it's so good even for me, which is a completely new player, right? Like seeing the day-to-day improvement or just hour-to-hour improvement on my Master Summoner gameplay, by seeing my uptime, by seeing how many Akirs per minute I have, is motivating. And I've always derived the most fun of games when I'm trying to improve. And most people are like there's a distinction between people who are like, oh, you shouldn't try hard, you should just try to enjoy the game. But for me, like, try harding is fun for the most part. Even if I suck, right? It's still fun to try hard. Obviously, the big talk of the town is going to be RMT, or specifically purchasing like services or items outside of the game's given frame of reference, or allowed frame of reference. I don't know if that's the right way to tell it. Like illegally purchasing gold. I don't know. Bro, I'm trying to sound smart here, but I'm just an idiot. Whether it's gold, whether it's pilots, or whether it's like completely finished accounts, RMT is bad. End of story. It hurts the economy. To have bots roam free, fishing, buying buses or whatever, and that's like on Amazon to fix. Like banning RMTers or banning bots, whatever. It hurts the player base to have like an influx of players that have purchased accounts that are like way too powerful for their own hands, you know? Like to have your A-gear hard lobby up or your Brel hard lobby up, and then like at 17, 15 Paladin joins and his uptime is 20, 15, you know? Like it hurts the player base. You're most likely not going to have fun in that raid, and they're probably not going to have fun either. The only people that are actually winners when it comes to RMT are RMTers themselves, until the point that they get banned. It's like a ticking time bomb, you know? And people are like complaining about, oh, AGS doesn't do anything about it, and such a large part of the game player base is actually like bots or whatever. And I get that people are mad because of that. You see RMT, however, in like every game though, and very little action is like taken against it, I feel like. I know that people that is to this day selling World of Warcraft raid clears and making a living out of it. And I'm not talking about making a living inside the game, like they're making gold inside the game. Like they're selling WoW raids and actually providing food on their table because of it. I know people that are selling ultimates on Final Fantasy and are not banned. I know people that pilot League accounts, stream it under the League category on Twitch to Diamond or Master or whatever, and are getting paid for doing it. And their accounts are most likely never going to be punished. Like, for fuck's sake, even Elon Musk piloted a hardcore character in PoE 2. It sucks, you know? RMT is shit. Obviously, there's like a small correlation to be made of like, oh, how RMTing can be directly connected to busing, and people who are busing don't really care about who they take in as long as they do the counter in Gate 2, you know? Whether it's an alt roster or whether it's a bot or a gold seller, you know, they couldn't care less, and I can see that most people don't really think about that too much. I think that if you are a content creator or a streamer that is like showing meter, I don't think I need to tell you that you are risking your account. Some people may be, as I said, so destructive that they are just waiting to get banned, you know, so that they can quit. Mortem of whatever you want to call it. And they're just asking to be made an example out of, and that's their active choice. I would love for all the people that I enjoy watching to stop showing meter, because I enjoy watching your content, and I would not be making melts if I didn't enjoy watching Lost Ark to begin with. If you are streaming your buses, I personally can't say I care too much. Bussing or boosting or whatever you want to call it has been a part of like every game forever, as I've said. This is, in my opinion, like 100% on AGS to kind of manage their own system. about accounts that are dangerous to the game state, you know, if there's gold sellers or bots or whatever. And like, I don't really think that it's on the player that are performing the boss unless they are like actively selling that service directly to a bot or a gold seller. Like they have a direct connection to 7 people that are like, okay, we're gonna go at this time, and you're gonna bring all of your alt rosters, and you're gonna sell all of your gold. You know, I don't think most bussers really care about that. They're just trying to make gold because the game is so easy at this point. And pulling out like the common sense card against the bussers that stream their buses and lumping all of the bussers into like a big pile when there's clearly a distinction to be made between people who boss bots and cheaters, and then people who just want to play their raid for longer than 30 seconds per gate because we're too powerful, you know? I hope that makes sense. I don't know. Whenever I boosted in WoW or ran GDKPs in WoW as a carry, it was mostly because of boredom. Like, the game state had gotten to a point where my character was just so powerful that there really wasn't anything for me to get, and it's either quit or just play to parse, and why not earn some money while I parse, you know? That makes total sense in my mind. I personally haven't had really a static or a guild that I run my content with for a very long time, so the gameplay aspect is where I get most of my enjoyment from. And when people are as powerful as Stoops, John Pal, or anyone with a plus 25 weapon, you know, that, and they finish their Daemine gates in 30 seconds, it doesn't seem like that fun at all for me, at least when I watch that. But those are just my opinions, and everyone is welcome to disagree or think of it in their own way. And if you are featured in the Melt, however, I want you to know that the only bias I have is that you're entertaining. Like, if you are in the Melt, you are fun to watch. That's all that matters to me. Not much else. And if you are in the Melt, I kind of like your content. So I would really appreciate if you keep your content safe, because I want to keep watching. Okay? That's all. Fuck you.